Alright, in this video I'll be showing you how to do this long division where you have some polynomial p of x equals x cubed minus 512, and you're dividing it by a polynomial we're calling d of x, which is basically d for divisor, which is x plus 8. So we're dividing these two polynomials, and when we get our answer, we're going to write our polynomial. Basically, we're going to break it down as x plus 8 times whatever our quotient or answer is, plus or minus some remainder. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me get rid of those marks. And so we would want to set it up, well, before we set up the division, one of the things I would point out here is notice we're missing the x squared term, so we're going to want to put in a 0 for x squared, and the same thing for x. Because we don't have these terms, they act as placeholders when we do the long division. So now we can set up the division problem. So again, you can see my placeholders here. And so now we look at our leading terms and we ask ourselves what times x gives us x cubed, and of course that would be x squared. And then we multiply x squared times our divisor, and that's going to go right under here. So x squared times x is x cubed, and x squared times 8 will give us 8x squared. And we'll go ahead and subtract. So you'll have x cubed minus x cubed, and of course that's 0, which is what we expect. And then you have 0x squared minus 8x squared, so you're subtracting 8x squared, and 0 minus 8, you're going to get minus 8x squared. And now we'll want to bring down the next term, and we'll repeat the process. So we'll look at our leading terms, and we'll ask ourselves what times x is negative 8x squared, and that would be a minus 8x. And then we'll multiply that times our divisor. We get negative 8x squared and minus 64x. And let's go ahead and subtract. So you, again, when you subtract negative 8x squared minus a negative 8x squared, that becomes plus 8x squared, and those do add up to 0, which we expect. And then we have 0x minus negative 6x squared. That's plus, I think I said that wrong, plus 64x. And so we get plus 64x. And then we'll bring down our next term, and we'll do that one more time. So again, we'll look at our leading terms. 64 times x would give us 64x. So it's 64, because 64 times x is 64x. So let's go ahead and multiply. We get 64x plus 512. So be careful here. You don't get a remainder of 0. So we have 64x minus 64x, and of course that's 0. And we have negative 512 minus 512, and so that's going to be negative 1024, which is our remainder. And so our quotient is going to go in here, and our remainder we'll write as minus 1024. And so that's how you do that using long division. Now honestly, because we're dividing by a 1x plus 8 here, so we're dividing by a linear term with a coefficient of 1, we also could have used synthetic division, although they did ask us to do long division. But I'll do that just so you could see how it would be done. So we would set it up this way. So if this is an x plus 8, we use a minus whatever that value is there. That's what goes in the box here. And you see that we're just using our coefficients of this here, putting zeros in for 0x squared and 0x. So the first thing you would do is drop your 1, and then you do what I call the multiply add here. You're going to multiply 1 times negative 8 to get negative 8, and in the columns we always add, so we're going to get negative 8 here. And then we'll multiply here, and we get 64, then we add, we get 64, multiply here, we get negative 512, and when we add, we get our remainder, negative 1024. And so we get the same answer. This would represent 1x squared minus 8x plus 64 plus our remainder, or minus 1024. All right, that's it for this video.